Okay, so what if your university wasn't just your university? What if it was part of this huge, interconnected community that stretches across all of Southeast Asia? It's a pretty amazing idea, right? Well, today we're diving into that exact vision, a borderless higher education community and the incredible initiative that's actually making it happen. All right, let's make this super personal for a second. Think about it. You've put in all this hard work for your degree. But what happens if you get an amazing opportunity to study or work in another country? You'd assume your degree would just work, right? But will your credits actually transfer? Will that new employer even recognize your qualifications? For a lot of people, this is a way bigger problem than you'd think. And that right there, those questions, they get to the heart of a huge challenge. Because while this vision of a unified ASEAN higher education space is amazing, there's this one massive roadblock that's stopping it from being a reality. And it's called the recognition problem. So, what does that problem actually look like in the real world? Well, it breaks down like this. A credit you earn in one country, it's probably calculated totally differently than in another. The grading scales don't match up, and honestly, it's often super unclear if what you learned in your program is even equivalent to a similar one across the border. All these little inconsistencies, they add up to a huge barrier. And here's the thing. This isn't just some boring administrative headache, right? This gap is a real deal problem. It directly limits your ability to study abroad without losing precious time and credits. And it makes it so much harder for your degree to be trusted and recognized across the whole region. So the big question is, what can we do about it? What if we could build a bridge over that gap? Well, there's a practical solution being built right now to tackle this complex problem head on. And that brings us to the star of our show today, the AUN-QEx initiative. Okay, so what is AUN-QEx? It stands for the ASEAN University Network Qualifications Excellence. And its mission is actually pretty simple, but super powerful. To make sure that degrees, credits, and what you learn are comparable and, most importantly, trusted, no matter where you are in the ASEAN region. It's really all about building transparency and confidence in the system. And I absolutely love this because it really lays out their whole strategy. See, this isn't just about creating some framework and then, hoping people use it. No way. The idea is to create practical tools, get universities using them in their day-to-day, then embed them right into their official systems. And that is how you create a massive, lasting regional impact. So how do you actually do something that big? Well, the AUN-QEx approach is pretty genius, actually. It's structured across 3 different levels, all designed to build real, lasting change, starting in the classroom and going all the way up to the entire region. And the best way to think about it is like this. You've got the micro level, that's your individual Lego brick, a specific academic program. Then you've got the meso level, that's the house you build with all those bricks, so the entire university. And finally, the macro level, that's the whole city, the entire ASEAN region. It's a classic bottom-up strategy, and it's brilliant. So let's start with those Lego bricks, right? The micro level. This is really where the foundation gets laid. We're talking about practical tools designed for the professors and for the actual courses that you and I would take every single day. And these are the tools we're talking about. First, you have the KSR guides. These basically harmonize what you learn, making sure everyone's on the same page about knowledge, skills, and responsibility. Then there's an assessment tool, which is crucial. It makes sure your tests are actually testing skills you'd use in the real world. And maybe the most important one, the workload exercise. This makes sure that 1 credit in Vietnam means the exact same amount of work as 1 credit in the Philippines. Game changer. Okay, so you've got these awesome tools at the program level, but how do you make sure they actually stick around and don't just fade away? Well, that's where the meso level comes in. This is all about embedding those practices deep inside the university's own DNA. And they're not just hoping for the best. They're taking concrete steps, like developing special training packages for the staff. They're creating reports to actually track their progress. And they're putting together governance plans to make AUN-QEx a permanent official part of how the university assures its quality. It's all about building a structure that lasts. And that brings us to the top, the macro level. This is the big picture. This is where all that hard work from the individual programs and the universities scales up to create a massive, visible, region-wide impact. And a huge part of making that happen is a massive 6-month ASEAN-EU campaign. Because let's be real, even the best tools in the world are useless if nobody knows about them or trusts them. So this campaign isn't just about sharing a few results. It's about promoting AUN-QEx as the new regional standard, building up that momentum and getting absolutely everyone on board. And you gotta know, this is not a solo mission, not at all. It's a huge collaborative effort. We're talking 14 different universities and colleges from 6 ASEAN countries, all working together with 4 expert partner institutions from the EU. That international partnership is absolutely key to making this whole thing work. Okay, so that's the plan. But let's cut to the chase. What does this actually mean for you, for students, for universities, in the real world? Let's break down the actual benefits. Well, for starters, it means your credits can finally transfer seamlessly. Just imagine this. You study for a semester in Bangkok or maybe Manila, and when you come back, all of that hard work counts directly towards your degree. No hassle, no paperwork nightmares, no falling behind. It just works. And it goes beyond just student exchange. It means your degree itself literally gains global value. When employers and other universities from anywhere in the world see a degree from an ASEAN institution, they're going to have so much more trust and confidence in the quality of your education. It's a huge reputational boost. And listen, this isn't just some far-off dream. The momentum is already here. Just in mid-2025, the very first AUN-QEx Mastery Training Workshop went down, and it brought together 32 academics from 18 different universities. The ball is already rolling. This change is happening right now. So, at the end of the day, what all of this does is build a much, much stronger ASEAN education community. It's going to foster way more collaboration between universities, way more student mobility, and that all-important mutual recognition of everyone's qualifications. And when you put all of the pieces together, the tools, the training, the campaigns, it's all building towards one massive, ambitious goal, a truly consolidated ASEAN higher education space. Which really leaves us with a fascinating question to chew on, doesn't it? Could this be the first critical step towards creating something like Europe's famous Erasmus program, but right here in Asia? An Erasmus of Asia? I don't know, but the foundation is definitely being laid as we speak.